Last year I posted a 2025 tier list for games coming out, in a way trying to predict how awesome the games will be on release. And this is a sweet goal nobody asked for, but as the director I failed to see why not. So this is the update video. This update video has it all. So let's start off with the games that bring me the most sadness. The delayed games. Many of the games didn't necessarily have a release date other than 2025. Some had a specific date, but they were bumped to 2026. Or in the case of a few, they have completely disappeared. We don't know where they went. They went into limbo, and we don't know if we're gonna get them back. But at the moment of writing from my list, only Slay the Spire 2 and Coffee Talk Tokyo have a confirmed date to release next year. For Slay the Spire, it will release in early access on March 2026, while Coffee Talk Tokyo is expected to come out on March 5th, 2026. So for now, I'll add this two to my next year's tier list. However, the same couldn't be said about the next games, which have completely stayed quiet for the most part. And we got Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, Mixtape, Sleight of Hand, and Prison Architect 2 falling off the radar. Especially Prison Architect 2. Nothing has been updated about them, other than coming soon. In the case of Prison Architect 2, on my previous video I mentioned my suspicion for another delay for the game since it had already happened previously. Unfortunately, the game is under Paradox Interactive, a publisher allergic to success. If not, ask City Skylines 2. But hopefully in the coming months more information comes out. I am not hopeful and release dates are presented or something, but once that happens, and if it happens, I will send the ones with a release date of 2026 to my next tier list video. I'm still excited to play them. I just want to know when. Now moving on to games that I either never played or even bought, going one by one. First we got Insoi. I gave it a did not buy DMB because once the first impressions started coming out about the game not delivering the promise from the trailers and the teasers, I am not about to buy a game half-baked with that price tag. I'm sorry. So, like this Steam reviewer says perfectly. The game looks fantastic on the surface, a great character creator, nice graphics, in-depth customization and build options, and seemingly complex social system. Yet, when playing, you quickly realize that underneath all the glitter, there's really nothing there. The entire life simulation aspect of this game is borderline non-functional. Sure, the people look pretty and live in pretty houses, but they barely do anything. There are no consequences for your actions, interactions lead to nowhere, there's no progress to be made in a game sense. It feels incredibly life and pointless. Then there's the conscious promises of groundbreaking. Well, we get the point where this person goes, right? And because I was seeing stuff like this on most of the reviews on the once it just came out, I was not gonna give it a chance, sorry. I'll give the game a chance once it has more going for it, as I didn't escape EA's clutches only to fall into the arms of another wasted potential. Now, another game in this situation was Tron Catalyst, and this one is kind of sad because at the start of 2025 I thought this was a great year for Tron fans. In a way it is because we get more Tron content. I mean, we had not only a game but a movie releasing in the same year, but in the case of the movie, I'm gonna be short about it. It was cool to see the grid one more time, even if it was only like for 10 minutes on the whole movie. I am very disappointed by it, but again, I'm just gonna keep it short. Then the game, Tron Catalyst, I had hoped it would be an entertaining game. Maybe not the bombastic or amazing game that will set the franchise into the mainstream media, but I was hoping for a final, like an additional touch. A hack and slash adventure that could put you in the action of the Disc Wars, instead of the news fest that you get after minutes of gameplay. I didn't buy it, and I didn't read reviews, but I tried the demo. And oh boy, after trying I was gonna buy the game, but after trying the demo, I was not interested anymore. The setting and the story concept of the game was a good side of it, but the gameplay could have done more to flourish and extend the fun element of the experience. It was boring to play it, okay? I'm gonna put it that simply, even though it's a hack and slash. Now, for the last 2 games, I went DMB, more for the reviews that were coming through after release. I know, and most people most of the time say don't let someone else's opinion affect your point of view, but with games as expensive as they are, sometimes you just have to be selective, and unfortunately, reviews have to be the one thing you have to take from to be able to pick them up. For example, I thought Orcs Must Die Death Trap was a must-buy for me after I played last year Orcs Must Die on my backlog, and I almost pulled the trigger on it. I almost bought it. But then I bought Marvel Spider-Man 2 beforehand, and when I read the reviews of the 4th installment of Orcs Must Die and how grim the picture looked, I decided to just not buy it because I had already spent my money on Marvel Spider-Man 2. And I kind of didn't want to buy another one that I wasn't going to really enjoy. The game released, as most reviews will say, lazy and unfinished version that introduce roguelike elements that hand out small incremental upgrades on basic mechanics and not essentials or incrementals to mechanics, which is kind of a shame because I was hoping to play that one, but apparently the game since release hasn't had any updates or anything, so that's even more disappointing, I guess. A shame. That gets bigger since nothing gets updated. But finally, to finish with the ultimate waste of potential, or so I've heard, Mafia: The Old Country. Now, the game isn't horrible like Saints Row. It's not that bad. Reviewers don't say that. But instead it was described by most players as unmistakably average. Like this reviewer says, Mafia: Old Country is fine, not great, not terrible, just absolutely unmistakably average. It's the kind of game that doesn't do anything wrong, but also doesn't take a single risk. Everything here feels safe, familiar, and a bit too comfortable for its own good. Is that bad? No, it is not bad. Though, it doesn't entice you to buy it. I will, but when it's on, slightly less price tag, when it gets a discount. When it gets a discount, I'll get it. I'll try it. No issue with that. But unlike Orcs Must Die 4 and Tron Catalyst, I'll give it a shot. Especially because they just got a big update coming up. So once that goes through and I see maybe some reviews and it gets the discount down, then I'll buy the game. Because as a PC gamer's patience, this is just second nature. Waiting. Now on to 8 games that unfortunately fell into the sideways for multiple reasons. Well, not really. One game completely overshadowed my gaming days till the point that I will eat, breathe, read, and watch only content from Marvel Rivals. That wasn't the only game I was playing, and that was the only game I was playing and wanted to play. As I've said on other video of 1 year of backlog games, I promised to play 200 games in 2026, and in that list will be these games, most likely. Because I cannot try a game like... I cannot just leave behind a game like Split Fiction or Winterborough. So expect an update later in the year. So subscribe. Now finally move on to the games that I did play, plus some unexpected appearances from my tier list. In total, I played 4 games. I know, it might seem insignificant, but games are expensive.
We have no money.
So first, it was Marvel Spider-Man 2. Psyonix put the sparkle and excitement of becoming the neighborhood arachnid. You feel and move like Spidey. Mechanically, it had a great upgrade to both Peter's and Miles' superhero kit. The story was engaging, and ultimately, if there is more from the spiders, I want it. I made a full video with my thoughts about the game because I didn't think it was perfect. I had some issues with it, so go check it out. I'm not going to talk about it in here because it's too much. But in the case of the tier for Marvel Spider-Man 2, originally I put it on tier A, and I believe it stayed on the same spot. Good game. Then I played Hollywood Animal. Its starting position was tier S, because I really thought the game had picked a great opportunity with movie management, and what seems like some sort of progression based on decisions. However, the game came out on early access, and tons of features are still blocked out, from skills to departments and progression. However, the way the game is shaping up, I think it will be great. I loved Prison Architect, and Hollywood Animal has a foot into my heart alongside it. I will do a video about the game, but wanted to give it more update releases to give more thoughts on it. However, the updated tier I give it is tier B. Yes, it goes down a little bit, but that's fine. On to the last two games. Up next, I played Eternal Strands. This one is a huge limbo for me. I can't quite put it into words. It has some interesting mechanics, the story was interesting, some characters had chemistry and good interactions, but when it came to playing, the feel of it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was supposed to feel. As an action-adventure game, it has some elements that go well with the genre, and some might think expected to exist. I think it falls on too much too soon kind of thing. The combat is special, but it can get complex. With multiple elements the main character has to juggle, as well as different enemy types that bring some difficulty. I think the developers put out another game. I'll check it out. If they do, I'll check it out. But Eternal Strands show passion and vision. However, Eternal Strands hasn't too much to write about or change my mind to move its tier higher or lower. Therefore, I'm just gonna keep it on the tier I gave it on the start, tier C. Now, finally, from my original 2025 tier list is Dispatch. My oh my, this one really hit all the boxes for me. It was an amazing game experience that I can't believe I had it in tier A. I mean, I'm not an oracle, but from the first impressions out of the trailers and teasers, the game had those special sparks. Dispatch brings a lot to the table. It has great narrative direction, you relate to the characters' emotions, and they feel real. This little world of heroes dispatching has life in it. While it has the staple elements of Telltale narrative games, the dispatching as a minigame and the hacking mechanics put the game in its own little tier. It separated itself. And I will go into more details in another video for next week about the game if you want my full thoughts on it. So subscribe to get your notification. Go subscribe. Either way, Dispatch deserves to jump into tier S. Now to come giving a closing to this video because it's already kind of long. I have two more surprises. These two games sneak up on me, but anytime I'm asked about my favorite or great games I played in 2025, both always come back to mind. And they are Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This one shouldn't be a surprise. I have seen or heard. If you have seen or heard about the gaming news, this game is beautiful. Its art and music captures you, and the story transports your heart into gut-wrenching pain that turns in every corner. It is a beautiful experience. I just cannot put it anywhere else below S tier. I've never liked to play games with turn-based elements, but when I say gameplay, when I saw gameplay with when my friends were playing it, I just had to give it a shot. I'm not disappointed. On the contrary, from the moment I opened the game, I was sold. I mean, with a menu screen like this and this music, you just know this is gonna be a mystical, spiritual experience of a different level. In the other game, in the last one of the video, Wonderstop, it shaked up the way I saw games. Actually, I could probably say this game is what shook me out of my obsession for multiplayers. Thank you for existing. You took me out of Marvel Rivals. The game is... let me put it simple for you. This game is similar to Cars, slowing down and appreciating life. So, to never focus on just the goal, but love and appreciate the process. I have a full video about the game if you want to check it out, but to keep it concise and give you an idea, Wonderstop is all about the moment, about sitting down and not thinking of the externals, where do I have to be and when, not to brood on past mistakes and what you could have done, to not over-examine every step until you drive yourself mad. Instead, stop and listen, enjoy a cup of tea or a chocolate and talk to those that you love, because time is fickle and when you least expect it, everything can be gone. So, Wonderstop is not like most games. It actually tries to break the cycle that gaming has fallen into. If you haven't tried it, go and play it. It is some of the best that the publisher Annapurna has to offer. and the developers behind it, Eevee Road, they did an amazing job. The game deserves a spot on my A tier. And there you go. An update to my latest hype tier list. I need a better name for it. I will come up with something. If not, you help me out coming up with it on the comment section. But that's all for this video. What are your thoughts on my tier list? Have you played any game from the list? What did you think of them? Or do you have any ideas to name the section? As I said before, let me know in the comment section. I'm the Honey Badger, and I love to talk about everything gaming from news to classic. If you liked the video, remember to leave a like, and sure, it really helps. Don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next video. I have a backlog to get back to. Keep on gaming.